Hello, my art friends. Hi, artists. Welcome back. So today's subject is on stop pricing your artwork on these three things. And we all know how figuring out how to price our work can be super tricky and sometimes very anxiety ridden. And very confusing, right? Because for some reason, as humans, we get very hung up around the money thing. I have made these same mistakes around pricing my artwork, and I understand what a psychological battle it can be, right, to price our artwork. So I want to help you with that today. Do not price your artwork based on these three things. Number one is kind of a simpler one, pricing your work based on the cost of your materials. Or you could also say the amount of time. So either pricing based on the time spent on that painting or the cost of your materials. One of the artists in particular had shared in the group that she was given the advice to price her artwork like 4 times greater than the cost of her materials. What? What is happening? What is going on? No, this is such bad advice, such a bad formula. I hope if any of you are doing that right now that you toss that formula out the window, please. And the reason why is I really want you to, think about it. Like, can you feel that if you price your artwork like that, that you are going to be severely limiting your ability to be financially successful and to grow financially if you stick with that formula. And then if you're basing the price of your paintings based on time, that's another, faulty way to price because, what if you are, you've gotten so good at your skill set and you can actually work faster and you complete paintings faster? Are you going to price your paintings less? Like the amount of time? No, you're not, or you shouldn't be. So the amount of time that you are investing into a painting has zero to do with the actual value of that painting. Okay. So I'm going to say that again. The amount of time or money, cost of goods that you invest into a painting has nothing to do with the value of your painting. Nobody cares how much time you're investing. Nobody cares if you invest 8 hours or if you invest 80 hours. Your customers only care about the end result. They only care about the quality and the value of that work of art. And does it fulfill a desire for them? Does it solve a problem for them? Does it fill a need for them in their life? That's what they're paying for. That's what they value. They value what your art brings to their life, how it helps them feel better or makes their home more beautiful. It's all based on what is the desire that's being fulfilled and how much do they value that desire being fulfilled. It has nothing to do with how much time or your cost of goods, okay? We really have to get away from the idea of trading time for money. Again, this is a very kind of middle class, working class mentality where, you go and you clock in and you get paid by the hour, right? That is not the mentality that we want to have as a solopreneur artist at all. So you want to be pricing based on the value of your work, not by the hour or cost of goods. Okay, number 2, and this is really a big one, right? And the number 2 way that you do not want to be pricing your artwork is based on other artists' prices, okay? First of all, can you just stop looking at other artists? Can you stop making all your decisions based on what everybody else is doing? Please stop it. Please stop it. Stop looking at other artists for everything. Stop comparing yourself to other artists. Make your own decisions. Get your own inner clarity. Listen and feel to your own inner wisdom, your own inner clarity about the value of your artwork. So when I first started out, I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll look, how am I going to price my work? And I started looking at other artists and how they were pricing, and it was like all over the map, right? And it was really hard to figure out, like, well, why did they price their painting that way? And then how does the quality of my art compare to the quality of their art? And so I did this too, where I looked at, okay, well, such and such artist has been in the field for 20 years, 30 years. They are so renowned, and their price point is at like $30,000, $40,000 for a painting. And then this other person over here who I was studying with, she also has had more experience than me. And I feel like her work is better than mine, so I need to make sure I price under her as well, And so that's how, when I first started, that's how I based my decision on my pricing. And I was like, I'm obviously not as good as them. It basically is what it boiled down to. Because I did not feel as good as them, both in the quality of my work and as a person. I felt like that they had it all together, and I was just a newbie, and I was just starting out, and my work really isn't that good, and so I really way underpriced and undercharged for my worth based on my lack of self-worth, really. So do not price your artwork based on other artists' pricing or what other artists think your art should be priced on. Because here's the deal, like, your pricing really needs to be an energetic match for you. You need to feel 1,000% worthy of receiving that money. You need to look at that price and be able to own it and know that if you get paid that for that painting, number one, you're going to be overjoyed and so grateful to receive that money, but also not feel like you were overpaid, right? Like, feel like this was an equal and fair exchange between me and the buyer. So it really has to be an energetic match for both you and the buyer. It really has to be a win-win for both of you. So you can't if you feel resentment after you sell a painting, it's probably because you charge too little for it. Third thing that you want to stop pricing your artwork based on is what you would spend, right? What you think you can afford, or what you would spend on something, or what you think your buyer can afford. So often we price based on our own life, our own reality, our own experience in terms of we see that number on our painting, and it's maybe such a big number, and because we have some low self-esteem, or maybe a lower sense of self-worth, we think there is no way in hell anybody is going to pay that for this painting, right? And so if you do think that and feel that way, that will probably be your outcome. If you really don't feel that your painting is worth that, then you will raise your prices, but it's the belief underneath that is still basically creating your reality. So you're going to keep creating that experience for yourself until you're willing and able to overcome those limited beliefs, right, around the money. Like, you've created something so beautiful and so valuable that they are going to be gladly and happily, able to pay for. They're not even going to question it. They're not even going to question the amount. They're just like, oh my gosh, I've been looking for a painting like this forever, and it's going to fit perfectly right here in my home, and it just speaks to me, and I love it so much, and every time I look at it, it's just like an emotional, soulful massage, a massage to my soul, So we have to really understand that we are not our clients. We are not our collectors and our buyers, right? Like, we're two different people, and they they have a different kind of life, a different kind of lifestyle, let's say, and they are looking for different things that will fill those desires, for them. So that's the last thing that, you want to make sure that you are not pricing your art based on that, what you can afford. You also have to be careful about, projecting your own reality, your own experience into somebody else's, because they are coming from a totally different place than you. They could also be at a totally different stage in their life where, maybe they're retired or older, they've invested their money well all their life, and now they have the ability to buy art for the first time, things like that. You can't look at your buyers like they are you and like they are having the same experience as you. So I'm going to leave you with that today, the 3 things that you want to stop pricing your artwork based on them. Stop pricing your artwork based on those 3 things. Your cost of goods or time investment, other artists' prices, or what you yourself or family or non-art collector peers can or would spend on a painting. So please, 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 all these things are irrelevant to the value of your painting to your art collector. Okay. All right, my friends, I will talk to you at the next Art Life Conversations podcast. Be sure to send me an email at info@artlifewithkelly, KELLI.com. Let me know your feedback, your thoughts, your insights from this podcast, and any discussions or topics you'd like me to talk about in the future, or questions you would like me to answer in the future. And I'll see you next time. Happy painting. Bye.